Welcome aboard, everybody. I got to wake her up. Welcome aboard, everybody, on a lovely Wednesday morning. Nice to see everybody making their way into the chat room as the news for fantasy baseball becomes tougher to get. But we've got all you need right here for the next 45 minutes or so, depending upon what you want to talk about. Nice to see Chris Gallo joining us, the great Doug Boyle. And Doug, if you don't mind, could you call me after the podcast, okay? Appreciate it if you would. Call me after the podcast. Want to talk to you about something. J.R. Matz, good morning to you. Eddie Heckman is here. Good morning to Eddie. Leonard Donaldson, Robert C., Star Dog, Unholy Toledo, and a cast of thousands. And we're still... Roto Lady has awakened. There she is, you know. Imagine your alarm clock. We have to get Roto Lady an alarm clock, okay? And the alarm clock has to say, welcome aboard, okay? That's the only way she can ever wake up. Welcome aboard, everybody. All right, so let's get right to it. So the first question is, how many people in the chat room would have suspected that only Hector Santiago would be the only pitcher reprimanded for doing funny stuff, whatever he was doing? And of course, the other part of that was some kind of drugs that he was doing, some kind of illegal stuff. But how many thought that there'd only be one pitcher? When it first came out in early June, the 400 hurdles are now. That is got to be unbelievable. The 400-meter hurdles. Are you kidding me? Now, I would have a big advantage in that race. I was going to enter the Olympics for the 400-meter hurdles. Well, not for the 400, for the 100-meter hurdles. I had a big advantage. I was actually asked not to do it only because I didn't have to jump over the hurdle. I could just run, under the hurdle. A lot easier. I didn't have to go over it. There's no rule in the book that says you have to jump over it, right? I just kept running, put my head down. Some cases I didn't even have to put my head down, and I just went right through the hurdle, okay? So there you go. Anthony D.B. Miller, good morning to you. Ed Heckman thought there would be more pitchers. I think we all did. How about that? Guess Burton is back. By the way, Guess Burton, Andy, I need to talk to you for a minute, okay? Go in the chat room, see who Guess Burton is, okay? Yeah, that's good. All right, we're just checking out on some of the guests. Good morning to all the people who are here. That's right. That's right. Pretty good. So how many of you thought it would only be Hector Santiago? The team that I kind of respect so much is the Seattle Mariners. All right. The Mariners earned the second straight win against the defending American League champions. And Seattle's 4 runs, while they're competing, their 4 runs were driven home by the 3 youngest position players on the roster: Cal Raleigh, Jared Kelenic, and Abraham Toro. So as the Seattle team is busting their chops, right, they are also at the same time building one heck of a team. This is the oldest franchise, the longest franchise that has not had a playoff appearance. So Seattle, you almost have to root for them, right? I mean, Seattle, and the off season for Seattle is going to be spectacular. They kept Haniger, okay, and rightfully so. They still want to be in the playoffs. They've got some good young guys. Kid Kyle Lewis, I thought he would be tremendous. As it turns out, not so tremendous, okay, with the injuries. He's been plagued by injuries his entire career, without a doubt. So I can't wait for Kyle. Next year, I'm drafting Kyle Lewis, for sure. Going to tell you that right now. Kyle Lewis is a definite draft for next year, okay? So we'll see about that. And take a look and see who's in the chat room, okay? From the great state of Mexico, Lou Landers in the chat room. Good morning to Lou. Good morning to White Sox Gal. Good morning to Robert C. And we are really rocking and rolling. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Yes, a long-time listener. Okay. I'd say, Andy, could you come down here for a minute, please? I just want to talk to Andrea for a second, all right? All right. All right, let's get right to it now. So you got that situation. I just have to check something. Having a little technical difficulty. Only take a second. Hold on one second. Okay, there you go. Daniel Ferrara has joined us. We're all squared away and ready to continue going, okay? Everybody good? We're good here. So the Seattle team, I got to tell you, this team is really impressing me a lot. And in the offseason, they are going to display some terrific trade potential. There's no doubt about it. The trade potential is going to be there. And with Fraley out there, Haniger's going to go in the offseason. We'll see what happens, okay? We'll see what happens, okay? Everybody remember Lou? Nice to see Lou in the chat room. Okay. As you can tell, having a little hard time finding my place today, wherever it is. Okay, continuing, moving right along. The great part about the Atlanta Braves, they win. The Mets lost. The Atlanta Braves now. Good morning to amazing Met fans. We just talk about how the Mets are losing their lead. Atlanta now is closer to first place in the National League East than at any other point in nearly 2 months. And there's a lot of baseball left. They're 2.5 games out. It's pretty interesting to see what happens. Mookie Betts in the Dodgers starting lineup again last night, playing second base. So Mookie Betts, just keep an eye on Mookie Betts. Remember, there's a pretty Malpal is here, coming back from the great card show. Good morning to Malpal. Okay, from the card show in Chicago and all over town. Malpal just doing his job. So Mookie Betts could be eligible for second base, depending on how many games you need to qualify. Now, let's ask the chat room another question. Jake DeGrom, Chris Sale, Fernando Tatis, they're all hurt. Which ones will make it back for a World Series push? Clearly, Chris Sale's on his way back. Does anybody think DeGrom and Tatis will be out for the rest of the season? That's the question. Sale's coming back. He's looked pretty good. Tatis and DeGrom. Anybody, if you have Tatis and you have DeGrom in fantasy baseball, would you be putting them out there to be traded right now? Okay? Would you be putting them out there right now? I have a feeling that we won't see Tatis and we won't see DeGrom for the rest of the season. Okay? Andrea says it's too late to trade those guys. You're probably right. Now, Paul Sewald, etch his name in your kitchen table. His numbers don't need... his numbers speak for themselves. He has struck out 10 of the last 20 batters he's faced. He has allowed one base runner in that span. He has not allowed a barrel. He has only one hit ball against him. Unbelievable. Paul Sewald. Don't forget, Doug Boyle called me after the show. So, you take a look at Sewald. He was in Double-A with the Mets. Double-A. Okay? And the scouting reports that I pulled up show nothing stands out. Okay? Nothing stands out. Big league bats are swinging and missing at 37% of his pitches. If you go with Sewald and Whitlock from Cincinnati, right, J.R. Matz? Whitlock from Boston. You will certainly have who would want them in fantasy? Instead of taking a pitcher that's going to blow up, and Sewald is going to get saves. Paul Sewald's going to get saves. Wild card standings in the American League East. This is going to be a battle. We talk about baseball being all screwed up. We possibly could have had the most exciting home run derby. We possibly could have had the best trading deadline. We possibly could have the most exciting finishes in Major League Baseball history, just taking the American League. Boston, Oakland, the Yankees, Seattle, and Toronto, they're all in it. They're all in it for the wild card standings. So with everything that baseball has done, pretty fantastic, right? Pretty fantastic. You like that, DK Luce? Nice to see you in the chat room. Just a great performance by everybody. Amazing Met fan is here. Malpal, Mitchell Harston. And don't forget, if you missed Monday night, Mitchell Harston and his brother Merrill were outstanding. Never too late to start a new career, right, guys? Good morning to Taco. And don't forget, tonight at 7 o'clock, you got Taco and the other guy. Tonight at 7 o'clock, okay? What does the weather look like this weekend? I checked it out. There's a chance of rain on Saturday, but Friday looks pretty good, okay? And we will tell you, Eddie Heckman, officially if we're going to Baltimore today. We'll know today, okay? So we will let you know. The most strikeouts by a player that's only pitched for one franchise. It's Walter Johnson, Bob Gibson, Clayton Kershaw. But down on the list is Adam Wainwright with 1,954 strikeouts. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that we don't give Adam Wainwright the credit he deserves. He is 10th on the list of strikeouts by a pitcher that has only pitched for one franchise. Okay? Unbelievable. Louis Gill. Etch his name in your kitchen table. He's the 8th player in the history of the Yankees with 6 or more innings pitched, no runs in his major league debut. And he joins a whole bunch of players. I had a list of all these players, but I never heard of any of them. All right? But Louis Gill, they sent him down. You will hear, Clayton Kershaw is on the list as well. The list is Johnson, Gibson, Kershaw was 3rd with 2,600 strikeouts. Bob Feller, Felix Hernandez. What a bunch of names. Adam Wainwright is penciled in with Don Drysdale, Sandy Koufax, Jim Palmer, Whitey Ford, and Adam Wainwright. Fantastic. But keep an eye, and if you can get Louis Gill for next year, I didn't see him pitch, but I was told that he has dramatic stuff. 8th player in Yankee history with 6 or more innings pitched, no runs in his major league debut. Louis Gill, I am told, is the real thing. George Springer hit his first career leadoff home run in 2015. He hit one leadoff home run that year, but since 2015, he's got 41 career leadoff home runs. There is no player in Major League Baseball who has more than 30 leadoff home runs in that span, and that's Charlie Blackmon, who should have been traded, okay? Should have been traded. Yes, King Felix played for other teams, but talking about only the strikeouts he got for one franchise. Not counting all of his strikeouts. Just the strikeouts he got in Seattle. There were 5 home runs, 5 leadoff home runs hit last night. Taijuan Walker, who I thought was going to be tremendous. I bid on him in Tout Wars. I didn't get him. I was really annoyed. I lost by about $5. His strikeout rate by month is, and in April it was 30%. Then in May, 25%. June, 20%. July, he was 17%. The Major League Baseball average is 26%. So Taijuan Walker has slowly gotten worse every month. Right now, he is not serviceable. For those in a league where everybody's not paying attention, try to pedal off Taijuan Walker right now. Okay? You may find that Taijuan Walker... Zelmo, good morning. Walker could be going to the injured list. He is definitely wearing down. The Dodgers had 52,000 people. Are you kidding me? 52,000. That means that everybody was not social distancing. I don't know. I don't want to get into the politics, but I don't know. It's just great. Here's an interesting one about the Red Sox. In their 107th game, all right, in 2013, they lost to the Rays 2-1, and they fell 63-44. in 2021. That, for those of you scoring at home, is this year. The Rays lost 3-2, and their record 63-44. So the Red Sox really showing some great consistency. If you didn't hear it, Jordan Montgomery is joining Garrett Cole on the COVID injured list following the Yankees' road trip to Miami. Wow. It might be a good idea for teams to expose a little bit more caution, especially on trips going to Florida. It's going to be tough. Florida is rough. Okay. Lou Landers reports that only 3 of the 52,000 people in L.A. had masks. There you go. And the rest of them just didn't breathe. You know, if you don't wear you don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to wear a mask. If you go to a ball game with 52,000 people, if you go to that concert there in Chicago, if you go any place, you don't need a mask. All you have to do is stop breathing. That's it. If you don't breathe, then you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get anything coming in, and you're not going to get anything going out. So there you go. Stop breathing. Next thing you know, on TV, somebody will say that exact same thing. Stop breathing. You don't have to wear a mask. Akil Baddoo has had a very interesting year. He's been up and down and sideways. This season, the Detroit Tigers that are really, really improving along with Seattle, 24-10. That's a .706 winning percentage whenever Akil Baddoo scores a run. Pretty amazing. The Tigers are 26-18 since June 14th, following last night's win over Boston. Detroit has a better record than every AL team except Houston and Seattle in that span. And that, my fellow Americans, is pretty amazing. Absolutely. Okay, as you know, we start off every show by talking about the Nuggets. Those are the Nuggets. And last night I was listening to, look, I'm not coining that Nugget phrase as my own, but it was great to hear listening to a radio show on MLB. And they said, okay, now let's go over the Nuggets on the Boston Red Sox. Mike Ferrin did it on Power Alley, and Andrew and I both looked at each other and laughed. All right? Where's Ed Heckman going? Where's Eddie Heckman going? Where's Lewis go? Who's going? Where are we going? Okay? Okay, good stuff. See you soon. Oh, Landers going. Check my car out. See if it's ready. All right, inside joke. The issue's here. Michael etching the kitchen table. Okay. Now the Mets and the Marlins. Alex Jackson hit his first career home run. Nick Neidert earned his first big league win. The Marlins beat the NL leading Mets 5-4. Isan Diaz homered. Brian De La Cruz had 3 hits. Lewis Brinson, bingo. Yes, I did pick him up. All right. He had 2 hits and scored twice. The Marlins have won the first 2 of their 4-game series, and Luis Rojas was ejected after Brandon Nimmo was called out on strikes. The Mets now have lost 5 of 6. They are 8-11 since the All-Star break. Their lead dropped to a game and a half ahead of second-place Philadelphia. Look out, Met fans. It's going to happen. The Met frustrations boiled over when Javier Baez exchanged words with the Marlins reliever Richard Blyer after Blyer retired Baez on a fly to right that ended the 8th. The Mets had only 5 hits off of Nick Neidert, who I saw in Arizona. Look out. Sam Hilliard, I would pick up Sam Hilliard, who hit another home run last night. Sam Hilliard, okay, over Edward Olivares. Neidert is a pretty good pitcher. 3 runs, 3 hits, struck out 5. Talking to J.R. Matz about that, all right? Zelmo's checking out early. Love you, Zelmo. When we come to Chicago, we try to make room for Zelmo and his lovely wife. We did it last time. And when we come to Chicago, whenever that is, we're going to do it again. Don't forget, Doug Boyle, give me a holler after the show if you can, okay? Jackson's homer put Miami ahead 1-0. Don't forget, he was acquired from the Atlanta Braves in the trade deadline. Okay, hit a Taijuan Walker pitch right out of the ballpark. Jorge Alfaro hit a double, and there you go. Now, Walker lasted 5 2/3, 4 runs, 8 hits, struck out 4. And there you go. Michael Conforto, wow. So in addition to his multi-hit performance, De La Cruz caught a McCann drive to deep right that could have scored Michael Conforto from first if he was running. Okay, Conforto, that's a whole nother story, okay? Alfaro, the Marlins regular catcher, made his first career start as an outfielder. He played left, he hit fifth. He had 2 putouts, so look, they want to get his bat in the lineup. They want to see what he could do. Trevor Rogers placed on the bereavement list. Robert Gesellman underwent recent MRI that disclosed he has progressed enough to begin throwing. Jazz Chisholm was placed on the injured list. Pablo Lopez extended his throwing program to 90 feet. Carlos Carrasco will start in the 3rd game of the series against Zach Thompson. The Nationals and the Phillies. Now, I have Zach Wheeler on every team, but last night I realized at 7:02 I forgot to look at one of my leagues. That was the Sirius XM Host League, and I did not put Zach Wheeler in my lineup, and I was distraught. Now, I can't root for him to have a bad game. Anytime that happens, you tend to root for the player you forgot to put in to have a bad game. But I have him in too many other leagues. So it was just it was crazy, okay? Unbelievable. Bryce Harper hit a solo home run in the 8th inning. That was the difference. 430-foot homer off of Javi Guerra. So the Phillies held on for their 3rd straight win to push their record back at 500. They're a game and a half behind the Mets. Talk about the American League, the National League, too. What a great playoff run we're going to have. Zach Wheeler gave up a 2-run homer to Josh Bell. All right? So, and he was pushed the night after the Phillies used most of the bullpen in a 7-5 win. Wheeler allowed 8 hits, 4 runs in 7 1/3. Segura, Real Muto, and Ronald Torres also homered for the Phillies. And Jose Alvarado pitched the 9th for his 4th save. He did not want to use Ian Kennedy for the 3rd night in a row. How about that? Patrick Corbin allowed Segura's homer on his first pitch, but he pitched pretty good. Ran into trouble in the 7th. Okay, Corbin pitched 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, 4 earned runs. Yeah, he's still serviceable to be in fantasy baseball. Still serviceable. The Nationals now a season worst, 9 games under 500. 9 games under 500. Chase Anderson is on the mound for the Phillies against Paolo Espino for Washington. Okay, moving right along. Everybody in good shape. Who's hungry? Says Daniel Ferrara. Unbelievable. Freddie Freeman hammered John Lester in his first start for the Cardinals. He was acquired from Washington last night. Jorge Soler, who has been on freaking fire since I told you to get him about a month ago. On freaking fire. Amazing Met fan. Sorry for all the bad news today. That's probably why he left. Soler picked up, hit a 2-run homer to start the scoring. His first homer for the Braves, 14th of the season. Freddie Freeman drilled his 24th homer. Max Fried. I had Fried and Wheeler going last night. Tossed 6 shutout innings for the Braves. They have won 7 of their last 8. The Mets may not make the playoffs. He struck out 7, walked 1. St. Louis now has lost 5 of 9. They are now 53 and 53. But Tyler O'Neill had 3 hits. Yadier Molina drove in the lone run with a 2-out single. The Atlanta Braves will play their next 17 games against teams with a combined 241-288 record. That's under 500 by a lot. They recently had an 18-game stretch against opponents that had a record of well over 500. So let's see what happens. Travis d'Arnaud is close to return from a left thumb injury. He made his third rehab start. Miles Mikolas allowed 1 run, 4 hits, and 4 2/3 in Springfield. J.A. Happ is going against Drew Smyly. Happ makes his first start for St. Louis since being acquired from Minnesota. And Smyly tossed 5 2/3 in a 1-0 win over the Cardinals. Pittsburgh and Adrian Hauser. Wow! How you doing, Hauser? Yowza! Hauser pulled with a no-hitter in the 7th inning. He left after 6 1/3, 104 pitches. Yeah, you got to do it. Winning the National League is more important than winning the no-hitter. You got to say that. Unfortunate, but manager made the right decision. Polanco greeted Daniel Norris with a single. He also snagged a deep drive by Eduardo Escobar to end the 9th. Polanco walked twice, stole 2 bases. It's about time to see Polanco do something. The NL Central leading Brewers had won 8 out of the previous 10. Milwaukee outscored the Pirates 28-3 in sweeping the 3-game series last week. They beat him 6-2 Monday. David Bednar retired all 6 batters he faced in the 9th and the 10th. Holy cow. Avisail Garcia had 3 hits in the game. Rookie starter Max Krasnick gave up 3 runs in 4 innings. Hauser retired the first 9 batters he faced. John Axford, who entered Monday's game, he got a standing ovation when he first he was placed on the 10-day. Unbelievable. And Keston Hiura, who is on the team's 40-man roster, but not on the active roster, was placed on COVID. What else could happen? Yelich, Hader, Jake Cousins, Hunter Strickland. This team has been savaged with the COVID. Stephen Brault goes against Freddie Peralta. Peralta had the National League's lowest earned run average entering Tuesday, pitched 10 innings, 10 strikeouts over the last 2 starts. Elias Diaz. Celestine, what are you doing, Celestine? Wake your father up. Elias Diaz hit a grand slam. Kyle Freeland got his first win in over a month. We talked about him yesterday. He pitched 5 innings, earned his first win since the end of June. Removed with a left foot contusion. So let's see what happens. X-rays were negative. He could make his next scheduled start. And J.R. Matt, Sam Hilliard hit another homer. C.J. Cron had 3 hits. Ian Happ homered for the Cubs. Okay? So let's see what happens there. Little skirmish. Happ hit a solo homer in the 4th. It was 11th. Hilliard hit a 3-run shot. He's homered in back-to-back games for the 4th time in his career. He's hot. Zach Davies, who I kept out of my lineup, allowed 7 runs, 6 hits, and 4 innings. The Cubs have lost 6 of their last 7, 3 of their last 4 since the trading deadline. Unbelievable. Hilliard also had an RBI double. Senzatella rejoined the team but has not been activated from the COVID list. Alec Mills goes against John Gray. He's facing the Cubs for the 3rd time in his career, but the first time since 2018. Where's John Garofalo? He predicted that Madison Bumgarner would wind up on the San Francisco Giants. Well, I'm going to tell you, 2 tough years with Arizona, but he beat San Francisco last night. They should have got him. Would have saved him a loss. Through 7 great innings, beat the Giants for the first time. Throwing against the Giants for the 2nd time since joining the Diamondbacks. But I'll tell you something, he looked pretty good. The Giants scored their only run on a Kurt Casilli home run. And that was it. Tyler Clippard, don't forget, everybody's peddling Tyler Clippard. He faces, I think it's 35 out of 50 games against the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Padres. So be careful. He may be the closer, but how many wins is this team going to have? Johnny Cueto gave up 3 runs. Okay? And look, the Giants didn't play great at all. The Diamondbacks brought up this kid Gilbert from AAA, and Miguel Andujar, the left-handed pitcher, went back to the minors. Zach Gallen goes Wednesday against Kevin Gausman. Yankees in Baltimore. As we head into the American League, don't forget tonight you got the great Taco going along with the other guy. I forget his name, but he's a model. He has gotten out of the fantasy business and is elected to become a runway model, modeling camouflage T-shirts. Okay, and hopefully the camouflage will camouflage him. The Yankees in Baltimore. We mentioned Lewis Gill, 6 really good innings in his major league debut. Guess who got a home run? Right. J.R. Matz can't get anybody to buy clippers. I understand that. Derek Carty was trying to trade him to me yesterday. Lewis Gill pitched 6. Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run. Gill started in place of Garrett Cole. How about that one? They may have discovered somebody. Just the 8th Yankee pitcher to throw 6 or more scoreless innings in his major league debut. And he went back to the minors. Gleyber Torres at an RBI double. Okay, so give him credit for that. The Yankees scored 5 times in the third. And unbelievable, Anthony Rizzo kept going. A single, a run scored. Cedric, Stanton, 3-run homer, his 17th, made it 9-0. And then Judge hit his 22nd. Richie Martin, a shortstop, made his season debut. Remember this kid? One time we thought he'd be a stolen base threat. Gio Urshela placed on the 10-day injured list, and there you go. Judge and Stanton hit home runs together for the 4th time only this season, and the Yankees are 11-0 when they both hit home runs in the same game. That's like when Merrill and Mitchell Harston appear on the round table together. They are undefeated. Matt Harvey looks to extend his 18 1/3 scoreless inning streak. He's won his last 3 against Tyon. Tampa, Kikuchi, 6 effective innings. We told you Toro, Kalenic beat the Mariners 4-2. Kikuchi, 2 runs, 6 hits. He had gone 0 for 3 in his last 4. Diego Castillo worked the 9th, got his first save, 15th overall. Seattle won the first 2 games of the 3-game series. They are 6-0 against the Rays this season. Coming off consecutive walk-off losses last weekend against Texas. Randy Arozarena homered. Cal Raleigh had a second-inning sacrifice fly. He also homered. Toro has 3 homers now and has reached base safely in 7 straight games since he was acquired from Houston. He is 11 for 25. I'm talking hot, hot, hot. Wow. I am talking hot, hot, hot. Arozarena now has 3 home runs in his last 4 games. And there you go. So, Tyler Glasnow will have Tommy John surgery on Wednesday. Colin McHugh will throw live batting practice Wednesday. He could return this weekend. Could happen. Logan Gilbert and Josh Fleming go at it. Boston and Detroit. Miggy hit 498. He's approaching that 500. He had 29, 44 in hits, 2,944, moving him 1 ahead of Frank Robinson. Miggy, Cabrera, Albert Pujols, both first. I don't remember. 2 unanimous Hall of Famers. If they are both not unanimous Hall of Famers, then how did Mariano Rivera get in unanimous? The Red Sox have lost a season-high 5 straight. An 0-4 start to a 10-game road trip. The Tigers starter, Wiley Peralta, 2 runs, 6 hits. Gregory Soto got his 12th save. Garrett Richards took the loss, 3 runs, 5 hits. It's pretty tough. Hunter Renfroe hit his 17th home run. So the Tigers, Akil Baddoo, gave Detroit a 3-2 lead. He had an RBI double in the 5th. Grossman had an RBI single, putting the Tigers ahead. Matt Barnes, to go along with the losing streak, the Red Sox put Matt Barnes on the COVID list. He began to show virus-like symptoms on Tuesday. He tested negative, so he's expected to be back. It's not going to be a lengthy absence. He was isolating at the team hotel. Detroit's 5 relievers, 3 singles, didn't walk a batter. Cabrera's hitting .406 with 4 homers, 10 RBIs in the last 10 games. He needs 56 hits in the Tigers' 53 games. Don't rush. Get it next year. Either way, first ballot, unanimous Hall of Famer. Casey Mize against Eduardo Rodriguez. Woo! We are zipping our way. Hyun Shin Ryu, 7 solid innings. All right? His first start for Toronto on Canadian soil. Springer, Hernandez homered. Okay, so how about that? He allowed 2 runs, 7 hits, walked none. Rafael Dolis worked a perfect 8th. And left-hander Ryan Baruki finished with a 1-2-3 night. Springer 2 for 4. Blue Jays got 12 hits. So unbelievable. Springer 41st leadoff home run against Zach Plesac. The homer was his 12th. Plesac lost for the first time since April 20th against the White Sox. He had 10 unbeaten starts. Bobby Bradley and Harold Ramirez, 2 guys he could pick up, had RBI doubles for the Indians. Kayvon Biggio, back tightness on the 10-day injured list. Corey Dickerson activated off the injured list. One guy comes on, another guy goes off, another guy goes on, and he comes off because they found out what he had is not what he had. Aaron Savali. Wow, they're calling, probably from Cleveland. Let's take a call on our busy phones. Good morning, and how are you today? Oh, come on. I put you on the air. Least you can do is speak, you dumb jackass. You're not doing it? Goodbye. Aaron Savali sprained his middle finger and threw 30 to 35 pitches in the bullpen. Okay, so that's what you got. And that's pretty much it. Steven Matz goes against J.C. Mejia. Kansas City, Dylan Cease pitched for the White Sox. He allowed 1 hit in 6 scoreless innings, matching a season high with 11 strikeouts. Tim Anderson and Andrew Vaughn hit home runs. Look, Chicago dropped 3 or 4 against Kansas City last week. Dylan Cease walked. Edward Olivares had a leadoff single. Yeah, he's going to get playing time, but I would certainly take Hilliard over Olivares. Michael Kopech, Garrett Crochet, Ryan Tepera pitched an inning apiece to complete the 3-hitter. Anderson had an RBI single. So, look, Andrew Benintendi came out in the 4th inning. He strained his left shoulder, sliding into second. Alberto Mondesi, left oblique strain, began rehab. Carlos Hernandez starts for the Royals against Lucas Giolito. As we're getting close to the bottom of the barrel, Tommy Pham hit a leadoff homer. Austin Nola had 4 hits. Unbelievable. The A's and the Padres. Manny Machado had 2 hits. And the big story is Blake Snell pitched around traffic for 5 innings. Okay? And Starling Marte had 3 hits, including his first home run. Pham hit his 12th home run. Snell went into the game with the highest road ERA among all pitchers with at least 11 starts. He pitched good. Unbelievable. Omar Minaya allowed 4 runs and 5 hits. He got drilled in the leg by a comebacker in the second. The Padres have had at least 2 extra base hits in 24 straight games. Matt Strahm was activated. Chad Pinder fielded grounders. Frankie Montas goes against Joe Musgrove. Joey Adele drove in 3 runs, okay, had 3 hits in his season debut, but in a tie-breaking 2-run double in the 3rd. But the big thing was he's the 10th overall pick in 2017. He was what they were most impressed with, he had a 1-ball, 2-strike count, and he walked. Big freaking deal. Okay. Jack Mayfield homered, great defensive player. Phil Gonsolin had 3 hits, but Adele made his big league debut. Okay, he hit 161 last year, over 124 at-bats in 38 games, so hopefully he'll do a little bit better. Andy Ibanez homered for the last place Rangers. They could have had their 4th straight victory. His 4th homer came after Adolis Garcia was on base with a 2nd hit. So how about that one for you? Jared Walsh went on the injured list last week. He was in the batting cage, no issues. Shohei Ohtani, the Major League leader with 37 home runs, first start since July 26th. He goes against Colby Allard. And the final game, good morning. That's right, Eddie Heckman's wearing a Machado shirt. Holy mackerel. That's great stuff. Fantastic to see that from the great Eddie Heckman. And hopefully we'll see Eddie on Friday. We'll see. We're going to have a powwow. We're going to make a decision, and we'll see. Jorge Polanco delivered the go-ahead 3-run homer in the 9th inning. Minnesota beat Cincinnati. Sorry, J.R. J.R. Matz, the devoted Cincinnati Red fan. Heath Hembry, he did walk the first 2 Minnesota batters. He struck out Brent Rooker, and then forget about it. Polanco extended his season-high hitting streak to 7 games. Mitch Garver hit a 3-run homer in the 5th. The Twins lost 4 of their previous 5. Jonathan India, we talked about him the other day. 2-run homer in the 5th off the Kenta Maeda. Joey Votto, 0 for 4 with a strikeout. And there you go. Maeda lasted 5 innings, giving up 7 hits, 5 runs. Tyler Mahle went 5. So, whoa. Charlie Barnes scheduled to make his 2nd start for Minnesota against Luis Castillo, who's got a 1.95 ERA since June the 1st. We forgot one more game. Dodgers and the Astros. Lance McCullers and the Astros tackled all the hecklers. Okay? They couldn't silence the hecklers, but they silenced the Dodgers. 6 2/3, 3-0 win. The Dodgers, the booing and the chants. It wasn't about the game. It was about the booing. Michael Brantley had an RBI double, 2-run homer by Jordan Alvarez. McCullers struck out 9, allowed 4 hits, 3 walks. Don't forget, he started Game 7 of the 2017 World Series. Buehler threw a career-high 115 pitches. 1 run, 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. The Dodgers left 10 runners on base, but the booing, unbelievable. When the Astros lineup was introduced, it just became a mess, okay? And even though only 4 players on the Astro roster played for the 2017 Astros, Altuve, Correa, Gurriel, and McCullers. Mookie Betts started at second base. We told you that. He also made a diving leap into shallow right field. Robbed Brantley of a hit. Okay, Gurriel was scratched. Next stiffness, Alec Bregman. Holy mackerel. Alex Bregman led off, doubled for AAA. Could be activated over the weekend. Zach Reitz, we talked about him once. We made a mistake. He was recalled from AAA. Max Scherzer makes his Dodger debut against Jake Odorizzi. And my fellow Americans, you've heard it all. Amazing Met fan, Anthony Miller. Greg is Chris Gallo. Calorona Cyclonus. Daniel Ferrara, the DK Lush. Hope to hear from you, Dougie Boyle, Eddie Heckman, J.R. Matz, King Hap, Leonard Donaldson, Mal Pal, The Itch is here, Robert C., Star Dog, Taco, Unholy Toledo, White Sox Al. Thank you all for being here. A remarkable turnout. Don't forget, bring a friend. Nice to see Lou Landers back in the chat room. All we need now is B. Don, Donkey Teeth, Paul Martin. Who else do we get? McMichael. Come on. You know, It's one thing to just walk away. Even Cha-Cha, remember him? One thing to walk away, but to turn your back on all the people that supported you, to me, is bull dinky and poppycock. Thank you, everybody. I said my piece. We'll speak to you again tomorrow. Hope to speak to you soon, Dougie Boyle. The landscapers are here. Hear 'em?